I just completed 2025 O-level physics papers, and let me explain to you why this year's paper is truly one of the weirdest papers in the last few years and what it means for you as a student taking O-level physics in the next few years. Now, the O-levels just finished a few weeks ago, and most of my students at my physics tuition center actually found the paper quite easy. But when I look at the paper, the first thing I realized is that this paper is testing a lot more on understanding the concepts rather than just calculation questions. Right, we can see over here, this question on terminal velocity, 3 marks on explanation, and over here, this one is a tough explanation question. Right, we can see over here, this question on static electricity, 5 marks, just purely explanation based. Right, there's no calculation at all. And even those questions that involve calculations and explanations, you realize that the calculation part is actually quite manageable, but the explanation part is the part where it's more difficult. And I think this is actually an increasing trend over the last few years, where Cambridge kind of shift away from explanation questions and try to test you more on the actual understanding of the concept. Now, as a student, what does this mean for you? Right, it means that you cannot just get by with physics anymore just by memorizing the steps to solve the question. You can't always say, if I see this question, I just do steps 1, 2, 3 and that will always solve the question. You really have to understand the concept in depth so that you know how to write down the explanation properly. Now, the second thing I realized is that this year's paper is testing you more narrowly on the topics. Right, and basically what I mean is that they don't test the entire syllabus. They pick out only a few specific parts of the syllabus and test you very deeply on those parts. So we can see over here, this question is 8 marks on electromagnetic induction, right? And in electromagnetic induction, we learn Lenz's law, we learn transformer, we learn AC generator, but this entire question is just testing you on AC generator, just this entire 8 marks, which means that if you didn't study AC generator, you will be cooked for this question, right? Same thing over here. This question, 5 marks on radioactivity, just testing you on half-life. So when you're preparing for your O-level physics, you cannot just skip a few topics anymore and hope that they don't come up, right? Because when they test you on a topic, they will test you very, very in-depth. And if you didn't study the topic, it's gonna cost you a lot of marks. So if you're a student taking O-level physics in 2026 and onwards, you need to realize that it's all about understanding the fundamentals now. It's not about just memorizing the steps. Right, I know many students, they always just they see this question, they apply the steps. It's not gonna work anymore because Cambridge is always gonna twist the question and test you in a weird way that you haven't really seen before. But it's only once you understand the fundamentals properly and have a solid foundation, that's when you can solve all these questions easily. And that's what I always emphasize over here to all my students at my physics tuition center. Right, understanding the fundamentals is the number one thing. And once you understand this, the results will just follow. So what do you think of this year's O-level physics paper? Also, if you want to get tutored by me at my physics tuition center, just go ahead and WhatsApp this number over here and I'll send you the details for my classes.